Now I'd like to invite one of the, I think probably the most outstanding police officer we have seen in recent times, who have served with distinction not only in Pakistan, but also in UN peacekeeping operations in Darfur. Yes, Darfur, and in a very difficult, troubled area of Africa. And he served there with distinction. And whenever I go to Africa and meet people in the UN peacekeeping operations, when they refer to Pakistan, the name of Syed Kaleem Imam Saab is mentioned with respect and with a lot of distinction. You've done Pakistan proud, sir. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Firstly, I must say that if somebody hasn't watched, they must watch the Al Jazeera interview of Mushahid Hussain yesterday. Actually, the anchor had to shift him, He didn't want it to listen to it because the channel had his own policy, and they didn't want it to listen to what Mushahid. And I was just slightly, I wanted to hear more, and he was continuously shifting to the other person. Secondly, I would like the students to give a big hand to Sanober. You have had such a nice lunch. And distinguished panelists over here, and there's so much to learn, and even and to FES, yes, of course. So we can give one more big hand to them. Thank you very much. So I would start with certain myths. When we talk about the disorder, in the morning we had a session where we said that we are in troubled times, but if you read the research, they say this is one of the most peaceful time. Because now there's a social media and you come to know so much what's happening in the world. People forget that in the World War II, almost 70 million people died. People have forgotten that. So there's a lot of myths, and I'll just go through some of the myths to make this discussion interesting and try to finish it in 8 minutes. For the students over here, they should know that there are no more local crises anymore. Actually, there are only global headaches now. So that's one of the myths. You can secure your border, but can you secure your Wi-Fi? Everything is moving around from here to there. Thirdly, we have more information than ever. But the question is, do we have more agreement now? We have less agreement. Technology is solving our problem, but it's creating faster some new ones. We are fighting new wars with old thinking, and we don't get away with it. So when we talk about geoeconomics as a law enforcer, as a person who has served as a police officer, so my focus is how can you actually improve your own economy? And for how long would we depend on the foreign loans and trying to get loans and then paying back an interest? When are we going to improve our growth? That's a question. You have a house, you have a very good security. The question is, are you exporting anything? Are you actually developing things which are bringing relief and bringing happiness to the people that you are living with, and trying to bring prosperity in their lives, in their opportunities. As the students come to me, they always talk about employments, they always talk about opportunities, and I always wonder, that the master's degree that they are trying to acquire and the graduate degree that they are trying to acquire, where are they going to actually utilize them? There are hardly any opportunities. And I've seen that even in Europe, if you go, the opportunities have actually gone very low now, and people find very hard, actually to meet their ends, basically. So the growth, because when we talk about growth and when we talk about economy, in today's global economy, businesses do not grow only because of ideas or money. I would also say that they grow because of certainty, predictability, and trust. So do you have them? If I have a money over here, where would I like to invest? And if I invest, will there be a proper arbitration? Will I feel secure? These are all questions, which comes to one mind. So at the heart of all these three is one simple thing: rule of law. And it's time, as a law enforcer, I keep on saying we need to do apolitical policing. We need to get away that and enforce law as much as we can and without discretion. And if we can do that, I think that is the way forward. So where laws are clear and fairly enforced, businesses grow. It's simple. Where uncertainty exists or investments pulls back, and entrepreneurship becomes survival, not opportunity. So if you take a simple analogy, running a business without a rule of law is like driving on a road with no traffic signals. And imagine what would be the outcome. So when rules are weak or unclear, power replaces fairness. And business cannot thrive in that environment. And I would also like to say that economic freedom cannot exist without legal certainty. So it's so important that the criminal justice system is functioning at its optimum level, at its optimum scale to ensure. Just to give you a slight idea, that in Pakistan there are 116 prisons, and the capacity is about 55,000. Right now there are about 88,000 people living in the prisons, which is over and above their housing capacity. And more than 60% of these prisoners are under trial prisoners. It's yet to be determined whether they are actually convicts. They are still accused, and and so if they are just accused, there is no mainstreaming exercise which is going on. There is no correction exercise which is going on. So simply where rule of law is strong, businesses invest. Where it is weak, even the best ideas hesitate. Now I move on to give a small message to my students over here, and I believe that that was one of my tasks over here, which, as Asaf said, that I must actually motivate them. I will say three things to the students over here. Firstly, understand the world, but don't be overwhelmed by it. Yes, the world is unstable. Pakistan is facing challenges, but remember, in the middle of difficulty lies the opportunity. And every crisis creates a space. Secondly, build yourself before you try to change the world. That's very important. Today, everyone wants success, very few want discipline. Your real strength will not be your degree, it will be your character, integrity, and consistency. Courage to stand alone when needed, because in the end, character is destiny. And thirdly, create, don't complain. It's easy to point out problems, it's difficult to build solutions. Pakistan does not need more critics, it needs builders. Build ideas, build systems, build institutions. Even if they are small at first, because progress never starts big, it starts with honesty. One more thing I want to say: stay connected to your roots, but keep your thinking global. The world is not waiting for you, it's moving fast. So you must be logically grounded and globally relevant. That is so important. Let me leave you with this. In these times of disorder, some people panic, some people wait, but some people rise. Be the ones who rise. So do not wait for the world to become stable. Do not wait for the Pakistan to become perfect. Become the generation that brings stability. Learn deeply, stand firmly, build honestly. That's important. Leave this country and this world better than you found it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for a I would say this was an inspirational talk, because he really inspired and he linked Pakistan with the world and gave the message of globalization also in a positive sense, that this is how we can relate to that. And above all, the focus on character and integrity and rule of law are paramount. And people always say that, oh, we can't take decisions. I remember an article by the famous psychologist. I was in Lahore in Pakistan Times. I was a student in FC College, and Dr. Ajmal, he was a psychologist also. He was principal of Government College and Government College University. And he wrote an article in the Pakistan Times. He said, Pakistanis have become a nation of waiters. By waiters, some are waiting to get the exam result, some are waiting to get married, some are waiting for the revolution. So it's become a very passive approach. You say, don't wait, so you get things done. And I would like to mention that, ladies and gentlemen, for the younger people, when we say we don't have the money and everything, the most important decision in the history of Pakistan on national security was done by Mr. Bhutto 3 weeks after Pakistan's dismemberment. 20th December he takes over, 71, and 12th of January he calls a meeting in Multan where he said, we'll go and build the bomb. So that you have to have that will and capacity. Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Janab created this country without any army, without any atom bomb, without any establishment, without big money. Character, commitment, leadership, and the support of the people. So as Mandela used to say, it's always impossible unless it's done.
Sir.
So I think let's just do it. Thank you so much.
You didn't mention waiting for Allah.
Yeah. Yes, waiting for Allah.